8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mariela Vandot. The headlines. The British Columbia University in Canada comes forward to provide training opportunities for the employees in the education sector. 7 killed, over 20 injured in an accident during the Fox Hill Supercross. A tense situation reported in front of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party headquarters. Minister Tiran Alice warns that stern action will be taken against all the senior police officers who will not be able to establish community police committees by the end of May. Sri Lankan Airlines advises that it is currently modifying its flight paths for European destinations. In foreign news, UK returns looted Ghana artifacts on loan after 150 years. Local news in detail. British Columbia University in Canada has come forward to provide training opportunities for senior officials in the education sector. Minister Susil Premajayantha has held talks with the university in this regard. Accordingly, Education List, lectures in the colleges of education will have the opportunity to have an overseas training module at the Canadian University. The Minister of Education said Deputy Chair of the British Columbia University, Professor Greg Averill, and members of the Academic Affairs Board of the university had a high-level meeting with the Minister of Education recently. The Fox Hill Supercross 2024 racing event held in Diathalava turned tragic as a race car veered off the track, resulting in the deaths of 7 individuals and leaving over 20 others hospitalized with injuries. Our correspondent said that there were more than 100,000 spectators gathered for the event. He said 7 spectators died at the crash and 21 more have been admitted to the Diathalava base hospital. According to police, the deceased include 5 adult males and a small child. Police said 4 of the deceased were officials of the racing event, while 2 others were civilians who were among the spectators. The Sri Lanka Army spokesperson said the deceased child is an 8-year-old girl. A tense situation has been reported in front of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party headquarters at Dali Road in Colombo 10. The tense situation arose after a group trying to enter the party building were obstructed by police. Meanwhile, Minister of Justice Vijaydas Rajapaksa has been appointed as the acting chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. This appointment has been made by the SLFP faction led by former President Maithripala Sirisena during its executive committee meeting held in Athalkote today. On the 4th of April, the Colombo District Court issued an enjoining order preventing former President Maithripala Sirisena from functioning as the SLFP chairman. However, State Minister Lasantha Alagiyavanna says the party is not accepting his appointment as the acting chairman. He said that they are ready to take legal action, and it accuses that Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa is not a member of the SLFP. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. Minister Tiran Alice warns that stern action will be taken against all senior police officers who will not be able to establish community police committees by the end of May. Accordingly, steps will be taken to remove those officers from their post. Addressing the gathering at the Nuwara Eliya Community Police Community, the minister pointed out that the participation of everyone is required to eliminate drug issues and the underworld. He said the community police committees can play a major role in this regard. Sri Lankan Airlines advises that it is currently modifying its flight paths for European destinations as a precautionary measure amidst the current tensions between Israel and Iran. These changes mean the flight times to Europe are extended, requiring additional fuel and reducing the available payload. Further, to meet slots in London, these flights are being advanced by 1 hour. As a result, unfortunately, some passengers on the London flights have missed connections or have been offloaded. Sri Lankan Airlines said the airline will maintain this routing and the earlier departure time to London for the next few days while it monitors the situation. Departure times from London and to and from other European cities remain unchanged. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
Our main news story for tonight. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says the government has specially focused on to promote life standard of estate workers. He said a program is now being implemented to provide deeds for a plot of land for them. Steps are being taken to provide houses from Colombo flats for the estate workers. The president said that no one will be left behind in the program launch to strengthen the economy in the island. He emphasized the importance of working together to achieve achievement, regardless of party politics. The president made these remarks when he was addressing a gathering at a function held in Uva to distribute rice for low-income families. The rice distribution program will cover 2.7 million low-income families in the island. The president said former government tried their best to serve only for their party members, but the present government is dedicated to serve all. And that was our main news story for tonight.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
Moving on with Watchlight, the Election Commission says that the new voter registration list will be displayed in all Gram Nilladari offices from the 6th of May. This will be available in all district secretariats, election offices, divisional secretariats and provincial councils as well. The Election Commission stated that after checking the voter register, voters who do not have their name included in the list should file a claim in the relevant district election office. The relevant application is available on the website of the Election Commission. And that was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Let's take a look at our headlines for tonight. UK returns looted Ghana artifacts on loan after 150 years. TikTok warns US ban would trample free speech. Maldives votes in parliamentary elections amid India-China rivalry. The United Kingdom has returned 32 gold and silver treasures stolen from the Asante Kingdom more than 150 years ago in what is today's Ghana on a 6-year loan. Ghanaian negotiators have said that artifacts comprising of 15 items from the British Museum and 17 from the Victoria and Albert Museum were looted from the court of Asante King during the turbulent 19th century clashes between the British and the Asante people. The authorities from Ghana have for years tried to reclaim gold treasures looted by British soldiers from the Asante Kingdom, which is also known as Ashanti. The accord will see the relics, including gold and silver, associated with the Asante Royal Court, showcased at the Manhire Palace Museum in Kumasi, the capital of the Ashanti region, as part of the year-long celebration honouring the King's Silver Jubilee. Iva Agyemangua, the chief negotiator, confirmed the items return, telling the AFP news agency on Saturday that they were given to the palace on loan. TikTok says a potential ban on its app in the US world would trample free speech of 170 million Americans. The US House of Representatives voted on Saturday to ban TikTok if the app's owner does not cut its ties with China. The legislation was part of a US foreign policy package that included aid for Ukraine and could become law as early as next week. In recent months, US officials have voiced alarm over TikTok's popularity with young people. They allege TikTok's owner ByteDance is subservient to Beijing, accusations it has repeatedly denied. The TikTok legislation was included in a package approved by lawmakers that would send $61 billion in foreign aid to Ukraine, as well as money for Israel and Taiwan. The House of Representatives voted on TikTok's future first, with 360 to 58 voting on the updated divest or ban bill. Voters in the Maldives are casting their ballots in a parliamentary election crucial for President Mohamed Muizzu, who has taken a pro-China stand and turned the archipelago nation away from long-time ally India since coming into power last September. The elections on Sunday are being keenly watched by India and China as they vie for influence in the island country, which is known for its pristine beaches and luxury resorts and is strategically located in the Indian Ocean, where global east-west shipping lanes passes through. About 284,000 people were eligible to vote in Sunday's polls, and tentative results are expected later on the same day. To end this bulletin of world news, let's take a look at our headlines once again. UK returns looted Ghana artifacts on loan after 150 years. TikTok warns US ban would trample free speech. Maldives votes in parliamentary elections amid India-China rivalry. We now take a look at developed news. Minister Mahinda Amarveera says that the President has allocated 25 billion rupees to continue the modernization program in the agricultural sector this year. The minister expressed these views while participating in the occasion of distributing fruit plants required for the National Tree Planting Auspicious Time recently to the staff of the Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation Industries. Minister Amarveera highlighted the need to attract the youth community to agriculture in this country. He added the Youth Agri-Entrepreneurship Village system was started in Hambantota, Munaragala, Galle, Vavuniya and Kurunagala districts last year in order to achieve this goal. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
A Nigerian chess champion has broken the world record for the longest chess marathon after playing unbeaten for more than 58 hours in New York City's Times Square to raise money for underprivileged children. T. Onokoya, aged 29, embarked on his marathon session on Wednesday, hoping to raise $1 million for children's education across Africa through the record attempt. He had set out to play the role game for 58 hours but continued until he reached 60 hours on Saturday, surpassing the current chess marathon record of 56 hours, 9 minutes and 37 seconds achieved in 2018 by Norwegians Halvard Haug Platibo and Suju Fakinstad. And that was sports news.
Go ekakiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyamata setna aswagena dagapuhina habekarana youth ekata niyamata setna friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The government has decided to import big onions from India through Lanka Sathasa. The government said under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government's neighbourhood first policy, India has recently decided to send a stock of 10,000 metric tons of onions to Sri Lanka. Chairman of Lanka Sathasa said that 2,000 metric tons of big onions would be imported as initial stock, as the Ministry of Trade has decided to import big onions through Lanka Sathasa. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakiyana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyamata setna aswagena dagapuhina habekarana youth ekata niyamata setna friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on with economic news. Gold prices across the globe are surging at all-time high prices amid escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. According to the London Stock Exchange Group, spot gold prices reached $2,431.29 per troy ounce, the highest rate ever recorded for the gold on Friday. According to Gold Alliance, the highest price of gold ever reached was $2,152 on the 3rd of December 2023. However, adjusted for inflation, gold reached its highest in 1980 with an inflation-adjusted price of $2,429.84. Last week's Friday, that is April 19th, saw prices reaching $2,417.59 after Israel retaliated with an airstrike attack a day before. Analysts predict rates could surpass $2,500 by the year if the geopolitical developments continue. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
Taking a look at the weather report, showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and Igol, Matara, Anuradhapura districts in the evening. Showers or thundershowers may occur at several or few places in the Uva, northern provinces and in the Polonnaru district during the afternoon or at night. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thundershowers. The heat condition and the muggy weather is continuing throughout the island. And that was a weather report. Before we wrap this evening's bulletin, let's take a look at the headlines once again. In local news, the British Columbia University in Canada comes forward to provide training opportunities for the employees in the education sector. 7 killed, over 20 injured in an accident during Fox Hills Supercross. A tense situation reported in front of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party headquarters. Minister Tiran warns that stern action will be taken against all the senior police officers who will not be able to establish community police committees by the end of May. Sri Lankan Airlines advises that it is currently modifying its flight paths for European destinations. And in foreign news, the UK returns looted Ghana artifacts on loan after 150 years. And that is the main news broadcast right here from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The time reads 9:01. This is Radio Sri Lanka.